Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
This is essentially a raise of about $50 million over the next 4 years. He was due close to $160 million during that span. Restructured it, gave him a huge pay raise. They can renegotiate down the line, but right now they wanted to take care of him commensurate with his skill set. He's
frustrated obviously, and lack of preparation and that lack of execution and mental mistakes, and that falls solely on me, and that's something that we need to fix. Lack of focus each and every play.
There was some good things in there. I thought we executed some things maybe on the fly a little bit that we hadn't had a ton of time to rep, and thought we did a good job with that. But, we're going to look on film, and we saw it a little bit tonight.
That's just really cool to see, when you tell kids, like, this is who we're going to be, this is who we're going to be, and, and then it goes out and happens, and they see it, and so now the kids know, I think, what style of football we want to play because, they came out and did it.
1-1. Lined left field, dropping for a hit. Here comes the tying run. Here comes the lead run. It's a double for Waters.
Just trying to stick to the basics out there and trust my pitches, trust the game plan going in, and knowing the situation.
First and goal at the 2 brings Foster Morrow in motion. Tony Jones has it, cuts back, and Tony Jones scores his second touchdown of the game.
Watson under center, Steelers showing blitz, play action fake, he's back.
There's and the ball is out, and the Steelers pick it up, and that's T.J. Watt running for the end zone. Steelers with the touchdown.
The strip by Highsmith, and his bookend buddy Watt scooped and scored, and the Steelers take the lead.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. It is the Tuesday Sports Day show. We've got a lot to cover since we was like last Friday we did a Sports Day show. Steve Webster with you. Thanks for joining us today. In studio with us, Aaron Clark. Good day, sir. Mike Hesher digging up the stories that probably you didn't know about.
And don't want to know about.
And don't want to know about. And he's back from the great Northwest with a blow-by-blow description of his 11-block tour in downtown Portland, Mike Corson.
Yeah, we've discovered that if you cause trouble, we're not sending you to Siberia. We're sending you to Portland as your punishment.
I'm glad you're safe. Great photos sent back. We'll talk more about your trip because there's some things you didn't go on. You didn't make the duck boats, but that's okay. But plenty of other things. Are you gonna put a photo collage up on Great Bend Post or something? Or
I suppose I got them on my Facebook, but I have them set to private. So unless you're my friend, you can't see them.
Proud friend of Mike Corson on Facebook right here.
Didn't know if people wanted to see vacation photos.
Well, some of the ones anyway. On the show today, we're going to play catch-up just a little bit. We'll talk to Cole Reif in his regular Tuesday slot. Houston Cardinals taking care of Lions. They'll probably take care of Southwestern Heights on Friday. Aaron Clark was in Buhler on Friday night, and that didn't work out well. And Mike Corson, well, he's back, and that means he's on the prowl. He'll be talking with Great Bend Panther track and field coach, cross-country coach. Right now he's cross-country coach, Lyles Lashley. But first, let's get to the sounds of the past 24 hours. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler with the details on a restructured contract for one Patrick Mahomes. Mike Corson, you don't like people that make a lot of money, so what do you think about this?
So I'm going to throw it back to the track here. What I watched, the guys, if they won the track meet, they were going to get $40,000. And people already in this building have said, yeah, but that's not a lot to those guys. It actually is. Some of them are Kenyans and whatnot. They don't make Patrick Mahomes money. So this is where in America we say $40,000 isn't much. It's only because of contracts like that it doesn't seem like much, but that's a lot of money.
Well, the Chiefs stepping, wonder how the other Chief players are thinking today.
It's a pretty clear message to Chris Jones of like, hey, we had someone else who was kind of on the front burner here in the offseason needing to get re-signed. And it's fun to watch the Chiefs do this because when they initially signed that contract it was a 10 years and just basically however much they wanted to make it. And so now we see him readjust it so Mahomes can be properly compensated in terms of,
and still be able to have a little bit of maneuvering.
and that's the thing.
room.
He's not even the highest paid quarterback. He's just one of now, which is how it should be.
But it's not unlike the Colorado situation where I think I read that they really didn't have the funds to pay Deion Sanders all that money, but they knew what it was coming. And so all he has to do is go tell the kids to buy sunglasses, and everybody sells out of sunglasses. So Mahomes is the brand in Kansas City. Chris Jones, not so much. Mahomes is the Super Bowl. Chris Jones, he's a big factor, but when you're talking about making money, Mahomes is a money maker.
No, I know you don't like Tom Brady, but
I like
that's
Tom
what he
Brady.
did the whole time he was in New England. Just restructure. I want to win. So
Yeah, he kept bringing in guys, yeah.
I mean, he's not 210.6 million. I just can't even comprehend that. It could earn as much as 218 million. It's just, as long as Patrick's happy, I'm happy.
But the thing to remember,
He keeps him as a contender.
where does that value come from? It's the TV deals, or when you're paying $80 or $100, whatever it is, to park at Arrowhead. Remember why these guys get paid so much. It's not that the money doesn't exist. It's people are paying it.
I like to contribute to the fans that go to the games by, buying a new couch, new recliner to get my 50-yard line seat.
Some new soap in the bathroom.
Exactly. I like to be part of it. So Patrick Mahomes taken care of. Okay, we're going to go back to Friday Night Football here because, well, we didn't get to cover it too much yesterday, and we'll talk to Aaron about Great Bend and Buhler. But Aaron Beck talking about the Panthers' 20-14 loss to Buhler on Friday night. That after a monumental game against Hayes. Over my years of broadcasting games, sometimes you just go to the game and, if you're around the team all the time, you watch them, and just something doesn't seem right. Did you have that feeling at all on Friday night, or?
A little bit, just because coming off of a win or a loss like they did against Hayes, that 28-27 loss at 1 point, don't know how a team's going to respond, and you could tell they had a lot of energy. Like, Great Bend came in with just a lot of it pent up and wasn't quite sure how we were going to see them use it. Unfortunately, Panthers kind of showed their youth a little bit there and got out a little over their skis, played a little too much energy, and like you said, didn't necessarily feel it before I got there. I'm not nearly as seasoned in my 3 games of calling games as all your years, but it was a bitter loss.
Okay, we'll talk more about that coming up. And the Panthers home for homecoming on Friday night. The Wichita Southeast Buffalo. Is it the Buffalo or the Buffaloes?
We're going
with
Buffaloes.
Buffaloes, yeah. I am
Buffaloes.
too. Okay, Zach Baird, they beat Lions 60-0. And, it was just what you would have expected. Lions was able to throw the ball a little bit on Hoisington in that game and actually move the ball a little bit, but there's no way they were stopping that offense. 60-0, Hoisington at home. They will be taking on Southwestern Heights on Friday. Brady Keith, Larned beat Smoky Valley 38-0. I know Smoky Valley's struggling, but as Brady Keith said last week, we want to play physical football and run the football. That's what they did, and that's what they wanted to do, and they went out and accomplished that.
And it's one thing if you only beat a struggling team marginally, but 38-0, it's a pretty quality win for Coach Keith to get under the belt for Larned and on to Nickerson this week.
I have a question for you, and maybe we can get some predictions on this game. Smoky Valley plays Andale Friday. Last year, Hesh, the score against Nickerson and Andale was
108-0.
That group graduated.
I don't think that's changed anything.
Yeah.
Has it in the past, anyway.
Exactly, yes.
So, some of the other games going on. We'll just run them down here real quick. Great Bend hosting Wichita Southeast. Garden City at Hayes. Dodge City at Liberal. Southwestern Heights at Hoyston. The CKL. Larned at Nickerson. Haven at Lyons. Cheney is at Pratt. Wichita Trinity at Heston. Ellsworth goes to Hillsboro. Andale at Smoky Valley. Halstead at southeast of Saline. Ellenwood at home. This is kind of one that not ranked and not even mentioned in the others considered in the K-Preps poll in Class 1A. They're 3-0. Usually they throw you in there, right? Well, people want to see a little bit more from Ellenwood. Hutch Trinity, not a bad team. They'll come in with a record of 1-2. Ellenwood a chance to get off to a 4-0 start. Russell lost for the first time to Smith Center Friday. They go to Beloit, who's off to their traditional 1-2 start before they start rolling. That's the way it's been the last 3 or 4 seasons. TMP at Scott City, Sterling at Inman. Huge game in our area. Victoria, 2-1, got beat by Kinsley in the opening game of the season. They will be in Claflin on Friday night to take on the Central Plains Oilers, who are 3-0. We'll find out a lot about Central Plains on Friday night. So,
I feel like Central Plains has had a couple of early season. We're gonna find out a lot about them this week. Like they had the game with Maxville a few weeks ago. Should be.
Well, yeah, we found out a lot more about.
Yeah, no,
week.
we did. We have found out a lot more about. But another tall test for Central Plains.
Yeah, Central Plains just out of the rankings in 1A Division II. Kinsley at South Barber. The Coyotes 3-0. South Barber's 3-0, but Kinsley's schedule much more difficult at South Barber. La Crosse is at Kiowa County. Maxville at Trigo. Sylvan at Otis Bison. Stafford at South Central. St. John, they're 2-1. Now they get Wichita County, who's maybe one of the best 8-man teams in the state, 3-0. That'll be in St. John on Friday night. Hodgman County at Dighton, Skyline at Ness City, Little River at Solomon. Okay, Royals able to rally in the 8th inning, got 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. The call on KVGB, Drew Waters getting a 2-run double. That gave the Royals a 5-4 lead. They go on to win it. And James MacArthur nails again as he came out of the bullpen. He's been really good, got his first save in that victory. Said he just stuck to the game plan, some play-by-play calls. The Saints. Lyles Lashley Saints, are they for real? Tony Jones Jr., a 2-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter. They take a 20-9 lead. They beat the Panthers 20-17. New Orleans off to a 2-0 start. And the call on the Steelers radio network, T.J. Watt returns a fumble, 16 yards for a game-sealing touchdown. In the fourth quarter, Steelers beat the Browns 26-0. Okay, Cole Rife's going to be in there just a little bit, but Mike Corson got a chance. I mean, it's like you just went to Disney World. I mean, you've been giddy since you got back. I mean, you were sending photos right before your big race, the media race, and it was cool because you had the stadium in the background, one of the most famous. Would that be the most famous track and field venues there is?
Yeah, and what's disappointing, they only hold about 13,000 here, and it still didn't quite fill up. So it's definitely by name probably the most famous, but I don't know worldwide because some of those, you've had Olympic stadiums in the past.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's that and the Coliseum, really, right?
Right.
And part of you misses also the first day they had a video about the old Hayward Field, how this became the Prefontaine Classic. It was going to be the Bowerman
Hayward Field was
Classic.
like a wooden structure, right? Almost with pillars.
It was like 2 grandstands.
Yeah.
So it was a really classic look all the way up till about 2017. But they were going to name it the Bowerman Classic, I think, until Prefontaine unexpectedly died in a car accident, like in, 75? So Lashley sent me some numbers this morning. I knew it was a great meet, didn't know quite how good. 2 world records, 21 national records, 14 meet records. So whoever ranks these things says this was the single greatest track meet in history. Better than the Olympics, better than the Worlds.
But you know what? That means nothing to me. You were on that track, sending photos up to the big. I mean, you had, as Lashley told me, you had a bib, a runner's bib, right underneath the KVGB. And
to have the yeah. I wish I could have represented us better. Got last place, but we talked about the gravy stain
It
folks.
doesn't matter. It doesn't
all the
matter.
time. They don't exist. They're ghosts. The kid I walked in with him, I said, so what time did you submit? He said, well, I'm unusual. I'm on the Air Force track team. I'm sub 50. Wait. So I go share his legend, and before the race even starts, they're all running around. You got spikes? You got spikes? They want to borrow spikes. Some of them wanted blocks.
What'd you wear?
I wore my Ontasuka Tigers, which somebody thought were spikes and wanted to borrow them. I'm like, no, they're just cool shoes, man. But it didn't help.
But man, that's a bucket list. I Sports Day salute.
It was
to Mike Corson because you know that's just
a bucket day list just to see the stadium, even from the outside. Driving in the night before,
You
see the
competed there,
lights.
Corson. Come on.
You are a
Right, so
athlete.
I almost went in town just to see the stadium for the first time, but I was like, nope, you'll see it tomorrow. As soon as I got into Eugene the next morning, went by Prees Rock, high on the list of things I never thought I'd see that I always wanted to see. They have open, well, even just walking to the hotel to get the press pass, didn't know that's where the athletes were staying. So start texting people, oh my gosh, there's so-and-so. The girl who breaks the American record in the shot put walks by me while I'm texting Lashley about the other people on the patio. So that afternoon, you get to go over. It was supposed to be an open practice. Didn't know what that means. Somebody said, yeah, go wherever you want, I guess. So I ended up going out on the turf, out on the track way before I was supposed to until I got kicked off. And so that kind of spoiled the fun of Sunday
Did they
morning's
drag
race.
you off, or
They said, track's not, the infield's not open for open practice. Oh, okay, I'm
That's
sorry.
okay, yeah.
Oh, it's fine. And I told another guy, he said, I don't know where we're supposed to go. I said, proven otherwise, let's just go wherever we want.
just go exactly?
I returned shot puts. I was shagging shot puts for Maggie Ewan and Joe Kovacs.
Were
I
you
thought it was-
carrying them with one hand or two?
I tell you, I was able to toss the women's, which I believe is 12 pounds. Kovacs, I think he's got the second best throw all time. His rolls out of the ring because it hits the cement so hard. I picked it up at 16 pounds. It's like, if I try to roll this without bowling ball holes, I'm going to lose my shoulder. So I gave it like a little toss, but after that, I was like, oh.
Yeah, but that's okay, though, because he probably appreciated because you probably hustled after it like, a kid, at a ball game, that a foul ball, man. I mean, you're going across.
Tongue out of my mouth. You bet. Awesome stuff. But so then when you go on the track the next day, it was like, just go down there and warm up, and you start to realize, yeah, I'm going to run a race at Hayward, and you get the little bit of the sponginess of the track to feel, and then you're in the grandstands. You're like, I might be able to run a lap today. And then the actual race.
Did you know the heats before your competitors rolled out there?
Yeah, so I put 2 minutes, and they said they don't judge you. They just want to know which heats to put you in. So there's 3 heats, and normally in a race you'd put some bad times in with good times to make sure they're eliminated. Well, there was a guy that was 47, about 50 pounds heavier than me, says he also put 2 minutes. Whoa, that's the guy I want to run with. I don't want to run against Air Force. But they had us in separate heats, and I had one chance. The young photographer says, I'm not a runner. I'm just out here for fun. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, well, what's your strategy? To keep up with those guys. And those guys wanted to run 60, 65. And I'm like, nope. If I attempt to do that, I'm going to walk.
Okay, but take me through it, though. I mean, we're down there, you're at the Hayward track, and runners, do your mark.
So I got a hip number first time in my life.
What are you thinking when you hear that?
So it was a waterfall start. So you line up. And I had joked that I was going to false start just so I didn't. Oh, hey, that was me. So I didn't have to run.
You weren't going to do that.
So they take off, and the photographer is indeed chasing them with crazy arms. I'm at least trying to keep some semblance of running. But they pull away. I mean, the 400 is one lap. They pull away on the first bend. But I know if I chase them, I'm going to walk, which my one goal is to not walk. So by the backstretch, I'm well alone. They're probably at the curve as I'm, and not even in the middle of the front stretch. And you can hear over the loudspeaker, and Mike Corson's from Great Bend, Kansas, and probably said KVGB and stuff, but my hearing was fading in and out due to the lack of blood. So you get to the backside. Well, they had a youth track meet between our race and then the big dogs coming in. So I have all these moms yelling at me now from the rafters, you can do it! I think that Schneider guy was up there, you can do it! And then you get to the line. I did not want to run in front of people, so you get to the finish line, and all the people who have finished the race are encouraging you as well. Well, I pulled up at the numbers because I don't know where the finish line is. And then they had to say, oh, yeah, go to the finish line, go to the finish line. So I'm a 139, but I should have been a 136, and that's all the difference.
I think it's better for him to be 139. That's closer to 100 seconds flat. We can now easily extrapolate that out for all results. We can compare all the high school, all the college runners we see to how many Corsons that is. Like, oh, they ran that in half a Corson.
Listen, I'm not into giving little, participation ribbons, except in this case.
But I would say
it's stinking awesome. Corson.
Real quick, the 4-minute mile was a myth, and it's gotten down to 3:43. The American record was 3:46, almost 3:47. Got to see the third and fourth fastest of all time. Got to see the American record probably did the second interview after TV with the first interview of the new American record holder of the mile. I've seen, Caden Esfield runs that, 4:20? It's a 55-year-old record at Great Bend High School. That's how good a time that was. These guys ran 40 seconds faster. Got this, my highest high jump I'd ever seen. I've only seen 3 kids clear the bar at 7. The highest was 7.2. These guys were going 7.8. So why do I like track and field? It pushes the envelope of what humans are capable of, and to see the best of the best, and then to be able to talk to them afterwards,
No.
Can't even comprehend it at this point.
No, you ran on the track.
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm sorry. That's
End of discussion.
Another Sports Day salute. That's awesome. Sports Day here on a Tuesday. Cole Rife wants a challenge race. See if we can set it up right after
let's
this.
Get Lashley and Joyner in there.
Okay, I'll do play-by-play. I can handle that. Okay, Sports Day rolling on.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys make it happen.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Zach Strite, commercial lender for Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. At Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Attention high school seniors, the time to think about that next step is right now. Get everything set up in a few hours at Barton Community College's Senior Day on November 8th. At Barton, you can take classes, transfer to a university, or enroll in a technical program. Did we mention we have $6,000 in scholarships up for grabs? Sign up online now through November 1st at seniorday.bartoncccc.edu to attend.
He's the voice of Hoisington High School football, the Barton County Cougars, and the king of the tweeter machine. It's Cole Rife on Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Cole Rife joining us. I'd love to be the instigator, Cole. I think, for what Corson did, to step out like that and to get... where's Lashley at? Where's Derek Joyner?
So those two were talking trash? Is that what I heard?
Yeah. I think that we should set up a challenge race.
Oh, yeah. I think Corson's way faster than both those guys.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, I might even give him a head start. For sure, Lashley. You know what Lashley does? Every once in a while, I'll catch him in the summer. He publicly admits this. It's not no secret. But as his runners are out running, he chases or he follows them in his pickup truck. That's what Lashley's training is. So I see him on the dirt roads out, throughout Barton County, and there's Lashley probably with a 32-ounce big gulp in his pickup truck. Come on, boys, let's go, girls. So yeah, I don't want to hear from Lashley.
Yeah, let's throw it out. Wouldn't that be cool? We could.
Oh yeah.
We could just do it around the block here.
That's what I was gonna say. There's talks of a new parking lot being installed here to the north of the building. Maybe we just do a circular track, kind of like Clara Barton has their walking track around the. We could just do it'd be a much smaller version.
A live race during Sports Day.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Okay, Derek Joyner, Lyles Lashley. Here you go. Challenge. Anyone else wants to jump in there too?
I'll run the board.
Well, I'm not going to. Somebody's got to announce, so I've got to be.
I've got to be out there. Yeah.
We'll be in one of the Tour de France. Them guys in the vans right by the runners, interviewing them as they go down. Okay. Not really much to say. 60-0. We expected a rout. That's what happened. Hoisington. Everybody come through that game. No one got hurt.
No, you didn't come out completely good. Leighton Hoffman went down with an injury. That was on the very first series on the Tony Moore touchdown run. So he went down with an ankle injury. he's going to miss some time, and that hurts. I mean, he's one of the really good sophomores, and especially starting at center, and there's a good chance you're going to get him later on in the season, however many weeks down the road. But like as a sophomore and as a center, what do you want? You want more reps. So by the time you're entering the playoffs, you're kind of that veteran, almost an upperclassman, right? So now you're going to miss that. So even when he does come back, you wonder about conditioning, and then obviously just the experience and just getting more reps. So that's a blow on the offensive side. So I hate to see that, and just that scene of, Caden Hoffman was kind of hanging out with his brother, and then till I think he was told, you go down for the PAT. So that was tough. And watching Leighton on the sideline throughout the game, like he was walking on it. I mean, obviously had a limp, but I was optimistic that maybe it was a light sprain or something like that. But he's going to miss a little bit more extended time. So
who gets that position now?
Well, Xavier Chambers came into the ball game Friday nights, and he went to left guard. Then they moved Caleb Berzer over to center. So we'll see if that's going to be the same lineup on Friday against Southwestern Heights. But I mean, you're looking at Chambers, a guy that's a junior, so get him some more experience. I mean, he's going to get a lot of it. He's going to get a lot of experience for the rest of the regular season. So that's good, especially coming back, and you could have another guy that has been in the fire. So that's the plus side. But Leighton's a tough miss.
Okay, they work on some things. Is that about how much they've been throwing the ball every game so far this year?
Yeah, I'd say, they threw it 13 times last Friday night, or the previous Friday night against Halstead. They threw it 8 times Friday night against Lions.
Seems like more, I guess.
It seemed like more because they were scoring quick. There were no long, sustaining drives. They had an 80-yard touchdown pass on the first play after that turnover in the end zone. Then, obviously, a 41-yard return on the punt by Jason Robinson that scored. So
he's fast.
He is fast. He's fun. I mean, and Zach was saying after the game, he's like, yeah, when he caught that on the run, like you knew it was going to be trouble. Like he's one
that was
thing
the
to
shortest
stop
punt return I've ever seen as far as time consumed.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that's one thing. I mean, I think a lot of high school kids in general, and I think you see it on every level, if there's any doubts on either kick or on, I guess, a punt return, they get out of the way, right? Like, you don't want to take that chance of muffing it at this level. But that was one of those that, Robinson, he went for it. Because not only did he, catch it and run, he caught it on the run on a 10-yard sprint. So when he caught it, I was like, yeah, there's a good chance. Just his momentum alone is going to get him.
I mean, that call, he's got it touchdown. I mean, you don't. That was
there's a catch at the 40, he's in.
He's in, yeah.
yeah,
right up the sideline. So I'm going to speak for the Hoisington fans here, that worry about everything about their football team. Lions was able to move the ball a little bit throwing the football.
Yeah, I think you saw. I mean, Hoisington. Do you want me to respond with a bucket of excuses? You're like, what do you want from me? Come on. Ian Smith was out of the ball game, so they were playing the game without their leading tackler at the time.
Okay.
So that's one of the spots, and they also got a lot of youth in there. But they were able to move the football. I don't want to take anything away from Lions. They were able to move the football even with the main varsity guys in there in that first half. So yeah, that was by far Lions' best offensive.
They had a nice
game
plan for throwing the ball.
Like, they didn't reach 100 yards of total offense in their previous 2 games against Nickerson and Larned. They had a $172 on passing, and then they were -10 rushing. So they ended up with 162 total offense. So yeah, there's something. I mean, I like that Jonathan Gish guy. I think, he's tough. I mean, just tough as nails. Doesn't have the best throw by any means, but man, he hangs in there, and he doesn't make that many bad choices. So yeah, he was tough. I liked him. And then hats off to Jorge Saraceres. I mean, he tracked down because Hoisington was that close to getting their 3rd straight defensive touchdown to start out the season. And Caden Chambers picked it off, coming down the sideline. I was like, oh, yeah. But, man, Jorge Saraceres, and he's a big guy. I don't remember his stats, but he's probably like 220, 230.
Was he 55?
Yeah, 55.
Okay,
Because he switched from running back. He usually wears 33. Yeah, so he switched to 55. And so he went to the O-line, and he tracked him down on an angle, and I was like, no way did he catch him. So hats off to Jorge, man. That was an impressive play.
So now it's on Southwestern Heights. They haven't won a game yet, so I mean
they got one. They won Friday night.
They did.
Yeah, they beat Syracuse. So they're coming in at 1 and 2.
Yeah. Okay. Just go out and.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they got a young quarterback, sophomore quarterback, Omar Mercado, and he's kind of learning the ropes. And you talk about a matchup for a team that doesn't like to throw the ball. It's not Hoisington going into this matchup. It's Southwestern Heights. They've thrown it 20 times in the first 3 weeks, and Tony Moore's thrown it. Oh goodness, 28 times. So this is they found a team that has less passing yards. So it'll be fun.
Okay, 2A rankings this week. Nemo Central, Sabetha, Hoisington, southeast of Saline, and then Ellsworth. Anything catch your eye? Well, Halstead's win was pretty good. So,
how about that?
Yeah,
I think because Pratt was up by 24 in the first half, and then I don't know. It was just I watched the second half on Huddle, and it was just a weird development. So they had a kick return that went. They got behind the defense on a deep bomb. Pratt had 2 really uncharacteristic turnovers in that second half, but yeah, that's a solid win for Halstead, and so it gains a little bit of momentum for them going in. And but unfortunately, I think if you're Hoisington, I think that just ticks Pratt off, knowing that you got him in 2 weeks. So I mean,
you're not the coach, so you can talk about you can look past Southwestern Heights. What do you think about this Pratt team this year compared to the one a year ago?
They're still really good. I mean, I think it's a very similar matchup. I mean, they don't have like the speed that they had from a year ago as much. But I think anytime you bring back a guy like Max Uni, he's just hard-nosed. I mean, just tough as nails. So, I mean, him alone gets you going as far as a production side of things. But, yeah, they got a couple of guys. They got another one along with Uni that'll be getting the bulk of the carries. But that style of offense, though, I mean, it's just coming at you no matter what. That single wing is gonna hit you in the mouth. So I think they're just as good. I'd have to watch that Halstead game again to see like what are the huge flaws. But right now, I mean, Pratt's gonna be.
Is Halstead a team that's going to get better as the season goes?
Yeah, I mean, I know Zach mentioned. I mean, and Hesh can speak to this, but I know. Like they mentioned that after that game that thought Halstead was a little bit better than what that score indicated, and it was 38-14. It wasn't a complete blowout, but yeah, I think so. I mean, Braxton Creed's got that chance to get better as long as he makes better decisions. So yeah, I mean Halstead playing for their lives really in that ball game because their schedule doesn't get any easier.
Okay, and of course you rank at K-Preps. So how do you get to be others considered? Do you vote a top 10?
No, I send in to Matt Gilmore. I send in a top 5.
Okay, because that's how I thought that you would get others considered if you got a vote in the top 10.
Yeah, I've always wondered this too because I imagine though because I don't know how many voters there are. Say that there's like 5 or 6 of us, right? That are sending in our rankings each week to Gilmore, and then maybe the ones that he totals like he gives each one a point. So if you rank somebody number 1,
right, that's what I thought.
But whatever. So then the ones that don't have the lesser amount of points that aren't in the top 5, they are considered the others, right?
But
I would imagine. But then
there's
sometimes
some chalk that's there's not going to be many other points.
I could be wrong, but I'm guessing that Gilmore has the final say, and that he wants to include a couple of other teams just to make sure that their school name gets in there, so they share it or retweet it or whatever it may be. Maybe that's the case.
Well, okay, because I'm just wondering, because maybe, Matt, he married a Claflin girl, that he doesn't want to give Ellenwood some love and just throw them into the others considered. They're 3-0 for the first time since, 86.
Yeah, I mean, that schedule's not.
Well, yeah, I know, but.
Pops off the page by any means.
But you got to get at least.
But if you're undefeated,
throw it in
I think if they win another one, which. This will be a good game.
They should go ahead and win by 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
I mean,
if they're 4-0, I would be surprised if they're not in the others.
Okay.
3, that's just the season's just starting. Whatever. 4, okay, now you're starting to prove yourself, regardless of your schedule.
All right. Well, there's Brett Stent. That's probably on the board over there. Look, they don't even. We're 3-0. They're not even. We can't even get in the others considered. Okay, because that's okay. Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking that's okay. That's how you get in there. Because you top.
Yeah,
10.
I mean, I would be interested to see if everyone sent me their poll, so I get to see everyone's. Then I could kind of gauge on how this top 5 is actually being calculated. But I trust Gilmore, so I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
Sometimes in high school football, you don't get a lot of weird games, but Sterling beating Sedgwick 41-6, that kind of popped out. That was. Well, Sedgwick was rolling right now. Look at Inman right now. They're 1-2.
Yeah, they started out in the top 5.
Yeah, they get love at 1-2. So
Strength of schedule. Come on, everyone's ranking RPI in high school football. Isn't that what everybody wants at the Acacia level? To have a strength of schedule, so when they seed it, it's a little bit different.
I guess.
I mean, Acacia went out and hired like 4 new writers. I can't believe they can't hire a statistician. Let's go.
Okay. What else on your mind today after looking at the poll? And it's kind of fun doing those polls because you follow the whole state. So
Yeah, you get to kind of keep up with what's going on. I mean, the only big change was Ashland losing in 6-man. So I mean, a new number 1 team in 6-man and Shai Lynn, and Hayes dropped out of the top 5 after they got blasted by Manhattan. Manhattan defending state champ in 6A, but Hayes falling out of the 5A poll. Liberal continues to roll. They're sitting at 3-0. That's been exciting. I think the WAC's going to be a lot of fun this year. I mean, even I think Garden City, Dodge City are going to have something to contend with. And I'll be one to say I've continued, even when Hayes beat Great Bend and they beat Junction City, I still didn't put him in my top 5. I don't think Hayes is that good. Now, Malik Ball is that good. He is a stud. But I think Hayes got overhyped. I mean, I think you're going to see that through the rest of the schedule.
You get the pedigree a little bit, right?
I think so. And nothing against, Tony Crow and his crew, but I just didn't think they were that good. Great Bend I still think is getting better. And for Great Bend to really be that close to knocking you off at home, I thought that said it like that to me, stood out to me. I was like, not so quickly on Hayes High. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me, even though they lost to a good Manhattan team, that they fell out of the top 5.
And, Junction City's got a good team, How many times, I did not check, how many times did Malik Ball run against Manhattan?
Ooh, I didn't see that either.
I would
have
imagine
40
maybe
first week, 36 or 38
37, yeah.
37 against Great Bend.
They may have got 12 in that game.
I don't know if Malik Ball is going to make it to the end of the season.
That's what kind of we talked about. And they've got Garden City this week, so yeah.
He's going to have a state record carry.
Who is the kid for Ellsworth, the really good running back?
This year?
No, the year before and 2 years ago, and they got the state championship game. The kid that was running 40 times a game.
Ellsworth?
Not Ellsworth, I mean Beloit.
Oh, Vincent Barron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just gave him the ball 40 times, and then he finally broke down.
Yeah. I mean, and he broke down a couple times in his career. His sophomore season, when Hoisington went to the state championship game and that big matchup, and then later on in his senior year, he broke down too. So, yeah, I mean, they're not
carry the ball 40 times in a game.
I mean, even if you're good and some of those carries, obviously you're untouched because you're that good. I mean, Malik Ball is that guy. I mean, he has a lot of carries that, people don't touch him.
Yeah, that game, that team, it was like they're playing Hillsboro, and he wanted to come off the field, and they wouldn't let him. They just pointed, get back out there. You can carry the ball again.
He's out there with a cast on, a couple crutches.
Come on. Yeah, the wheel finally broke, though, before, Cole, thanks for coming in today.
I appreciate it.
And explaining the polling. And is there anybody else that I don't think anyone else was really dogging Corson about going up there and running in that thing, but maybe we can throw somebody else in there.
I mean, I didn't even hear any trash talk, but
I'm feeling good right now.
So
he works out every morning at 4:45.
Throw him into the mix.
Hesh?
I don't run. I'm over 60.
Well, I don't think Lashley does either.
Okay, well.
Can you drive a pickup?
I could probably beat Lashley. I'll throw that one down.
I like that. That's digging. I like that.
Hesh is calling out. Okay, we've got 4 people in there.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Well, you got to run the board.
Yeah, I'm running the board.
Becca,
she talks a lot of trash.
She talks a lot of trash. I think she'd be in there.
Yeah. I mean, you got to throw in Aaron for sure.
That's unfair with them long strides. Come on now.
Well, I mean, it's like a comparison. We got to put in our youngest guy in there so he can, so we know what the standard is.
Okay, but at least we got 3 competitors. We got Corson, we've got Derek Joyner, and we've got Lashley for the challenge race.
Yeah, I'll start mapping out the route.
Okay, I think we're ready to go. All right, thanks, Cole. Cole Reif joining us, voice of the Hoisington Cardinals. And, gosh, in 2 weeks, you have your first Barton basketball game, don't you? Coming right around the corner. Okay, Aaron Clark joins us next.
At Nex-Tech Wireless, it's wireless on your terms. You pick a 36, 24, or 18-month agreement and get a device on us like the iPhone 14 or the new Google Pixel 7. Stuck in a contract with your current provider? Switch now and get up to $1,000 per line. For more details, stop by your nearest Nex-Tech Wireless location today or call or text our customer care team at 877-621-2600. Nex-Tech Wireless, home on the range.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
There's nothing like ASTEM therapy. This is Tim Marcus from Progressive Physical Therapy in Hayes. Research shows that ASTEM therapy improves muscle performance and neural functioning. It's highly effective for those dealing with tennis elbow, carpal tunnel, sports injuries, and general aches and pains.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Rife, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
It's time to dig deep into Great Bend Panther football on Sports Day as we bring you the voice of the Panthers, Aaron Clark.
The texts are coming in now. What's that? No, it's got rumor has it y'all are talking a little bit of stuff on the radio today, so we're gonna get this thing set up.
We defend our own here on Sports Day.
Yeah,
we defend our KVGB fellow broadcasters.
We'll print out special, track and field bibs with the names on the front for this race.
We'll have to. It has to look good.
Nothing from Derek Joyner yet. So, but they're educators, so. Evidently, somewhere in the hallways, it did get back to at least one of the people named. I think we can get a pretty good field for this.
We should be able to. Maybe we can get the Great Bend High School to let us be the first race on their new track once they get that laid down.
I like it. Sports Day on the road. Okay, cool. All right, I think that'd be good. Okay, Aaron Clark with us right now. Sum up Friday night, 20-14 to Buhler.
Incredible game plan from Buhler's head coach, Steve Warner. They came out. They knew they were going to need to be physical, control the clock, control the tempo of the game, and that's exactly what they did. I believe they carried the ball for 50 times for 230 yards, and they didn't have a run go over 16 yards was their longest carry. So it's not like they had, like against Hayes, they kind of had the difference with Baugh. He had those two big, long runs that he broke off. But apart from that, Great Bend was kind of able to contain him. Almost the opposite. Great Bend didn't allow a whole lot of big, explosive runs, but just little ones that they couldn't quite stop. And to their credit, Buhler's offensive line, a lot of just big guys up there, and a stark contrast to Great Bend's offensive line as Buhler, 3 seniors, 2 juniors, and the 2 juniors both played last year versus Great Bend, a very young offensive line. They got Matthew Johnson as the senior there, with a lot of new faces around him. Obviously, Trenton Kern is an experienced football player. This is his first year sliding in there as the starting left tackle. Then next to him, Carter Brown, a sophomore center. Tatum Harper, a very talented player, new to the system, still trying to gel with his teammates. And then you got a junior, Owen Kaiser, playing that right tackle, just still trying to have get the game going, get it rolling a little bit. Saw some of those growing pains in Buhler with a really kind of funky defensive front where they line up a little defensive tackle behind their big one. It almost looks like...
Had you seen that before?
I had not. I was trying to put it into words on the broadcast, and eventually I just was like, all right, it's a 4-3 front, essentially. I'm not going to try to overcomplicate what they're doing because it looks like almost a 3-1-3 with linebackers, like 3 defensive linemen, another middle linebacker crouched less than a yard behind the defensive tackle, and I don't think I saw him drop into pass coverage once. He was shooting A gap, shooting B gap, shooting
one
wide.
one way, the other went the other.
He would go. I rushed to either edge, and just allowed Bueller to really do some wacky stuff up front, put a lot of pressure on Great Bend's offensive line. We actually saw Great Bend, I think they only had 68 rushing yards, which is their fewest since Garden City in 2021. Not even last year, but the year before that. I do think there is some positive on the forefront. Last year, we saw an explosive running game from Great Bend against Wichita Southeast. They had 246 rushing yards in that game, so could have a chance to get back on track this week. But really, Great Bend, not their cleanest game. Kudos to Bueller for having a terrific game plan.
And maybe shame on us. I'll shame on me because we get, Connor Nickel on here Friday saying, if they run the table, they're going to chance of one loss and they'll be in there with some other, number one seed and things. And then we forget this is a young team. It's a very young offensive line. And Mr. Offensive Lineman, you're always telling me, how you've got to get used to working together. And then you get a coach like Steve Warner that comes up with this thing,
It's just, that's kind of what I was telling people who've asked me about the game. It's something that you don't expect to see from anyone but someone who's been doing it 36 years. Because they also just, in dominant force on defense, knew how to put some pressures on the Panthers. And just, like you said, not the great, don't want to put too much shame on the Panthers because they are such a young team, and that obviously leads to a little bit of volatility, just not necessarily knowing how to be consistent and maybe how you prepare for a game week to week. Still have to learn how to get ready for games. But they had a lot of mistakes. Really seemed like every time the Panthers had a little bit of momentum going, they would, in some way, would just shoot themselves in the foot, self-inflict a wound, whether that be giving up a sack, giving up a sack that turned into a fumble or an interception, or just a holding call or another miscue of that sort. Really hard for the Panthers to get rolling when just could not get out of their own way on Friday.
Well, now they've got Southeast comes in here, certainly a winnable game, and kind of get back on track. I guess you want to get your kids' attention. And another thing, I don't think, that was just such a massive game against Hayes, emotionally, physically. I know they're fired up to bounce back, but I think it's human nature sometimes, even though you're a young team, but I don't know.
And I think you're exactly right. There was some sort of an emotional hangover from last Friday's game with Hayes, whether it was draining them a little bit, not allowing them to play the way the Panthers have played those first two games, or whether it was more of they were too excited, a little bit too on edge to go and try to out-improve that wasn't a real game last week, get back in the win column, got a little too excited, and something I think they'll be able to avoid. They get to come back home this week, and excited for another chance. That's the great part about football. Got another chance this Friday night to go out and get back in some successful plays.
Okay, thanks, Aaron. We got to run. Mike Horson on the prowl. Up next.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Barton Community College helped me get a jump start on college with early college opportunities. With Barton's help, I earned my degree at the same time I graduated from high school. You can take classes on campus, online, and even at your high school with teachers you already know. With tuition rates starting at $50 per credit hour for select Kansas high school audiences and scholarship opportunities, it is easier than ever. Barton Community College helped me get one step closer to my dream, and it can help you too. Learn more at highschool.bartonccc.edu.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Mike Corson joined Special Tuesday with Panther Cross Country Coach Lyles Lashley. Coach, how's it going?
It's going all right. How about you? You recovered? Jet lag from the great Northwest out there?
Set a personal best. In college, we went 30 hours with an hour drive ahead of it with no sleep. This time it was more like 35 hours with a 4-hour drive included in there. So personal best, not on the track, but in the car.
Nice. So you were the personal best in the 400? You ever run the 400 before?
And it would have been a personal best as the only best. Yeah, didn't know I could do it.
There you go. That'd be an awesome experience for you to go out there.
Yeah, and I didn't know that they ranked track meets, but you sent a graphic this morning that showed with all the 2 world records, 21 national records set over 2 days, possibly the greatest track meet of all time, and to be able to see it up close and get all the access was, it still can't comprehend it.
Yeah, there's a little magic in that track, and I think the surface is very, very fast. And it seems to always be some very nice winds where they're perfectly with tailwinds with under a 2.0. So very rarely do you see a overwindated run, and very rarely do you see them run into a headwind. So it's a perfect little setup.
Yeah, and so while I was out there, I saw that you guys were running in Buhler, and one of those funny races, you're coming off the big one in Olathe. So you had a kind of an idea of what you guys were going to do anyway, and then you sent me a picture of the pack running. How fun to maybe not go for best times that day, but just kind of pack up like that.
It is. We race on a Saturday night like that and try to come back and then get a good workout in on Monday. And then try to come out. You really don't expect the girls and guys to blow it out of the water. So we wanted to kind of do a team thing with the girls. The guys kind of matched up. Although our guys kind of went out way too fast, or 2 guys, and one of them ended up in a golf cart, and the other one kind of died the last part. They didn't seem to listen to coach very well. But other than that, it was a fun meet for them to get out and do something different and get into a pack. And my high school coach developed that when we were in high school. We did that actually at the state track or state cross country meet, and stayed together for 2 miles, then took off. And so we called it surround sound back then. So it's kind of a fun, different way, and you learn how to run together as a group in a pack. So it was nice.
How does that work? You've got maybe, a 2-3 minute split between your girls. Obviously, your front ones are going to slow down, but does it also push the ones in the back to maybe cut 10 seconds, or how does that work?
Our split's usually about between a minute and minute 15, usually between our number 1 and number 5. So, it's not like they're too bad pushing there. I mean, if you compare the time to last year, Addie ran faster than she did last year, and she got second last year. I mean, every one of our girls ran faster than Addie did last year at the meet. I think she ran 21:03, and I think Sienna was 21:02. So when you work together like that, they seem to give in less, the midway point of a meet.
Obviously, Salina Central's girls were the 1-2 punch there, but Southeast of Saline was their number 1 team in 3A. And if you look at the team scores, it's almost kind of comical how much better Great Bend was. Kind of fun to flex the muscles a little bit and say, hey, Great Bend was here?
Not necessarily. I mean, you don't want to do that, but you just like I said, we're hopefully give the girls confidence, that they can work together later on down the road, state meet. Not necessarily the 5, but, when you throw like Addie and Mackenzie together, and throw Marissa in there, throw Eliana, Sienna, and Morgan together. The 2 groups of 3 could work together, and, it's, like I said, it's a little less likely that you're going to give up when your teammates there to support you.
And where are you guys headed this week?
We're headed to Rimrock.
And
the Rock. It should be a great, great meet. There's a ton of schools. I think we're in the gold division. There's 27 teams. You got Olathe West, and I think 7 different states are represented in that gold division. So if they're coming all the way from Nebraska and Colorado and Iowa to Oklahoma and all sorts of states, that they're going to be pretty dang good.
Coach, I know you're short on time. We'll let you go here in just a second. I will say at the 400 I ran at Hayward Field, There was times before of my times versus the times they wanted to run. And I asked the one kid, maybe I could keep up with. What are you going to do? He said, oh, keep up. And I knew right before the gun even went off, if I tried, I was going to end up walking. So I hear these kids all the time talking about, oh, I run my own race. That day I ran my own race, and I did not walk. So terrible time, but that's all that matters.
Hey, you didn't walk, you didn't get lapped, so it was a good day.
I didn't get lapped because it was a one-lap race. If there was 2 laps, I would have.
You'd have fought them off. You'd have fought them off in that second lap.
Found my next level. Coach,
so do they only run the 800 at World Championships?
Yeah, and that's the spooky part. I asked some of the guys, and they said, well, I did the 800 at Worlds. I was like, oh, I would have had to bow out. I would have false started probably. Hamstring issues, you know.
I think they'd have kept you in the race just to make you run.
If I have to, I want to see more guys, not just the fit ones.
They should put you on a 4x1.
I would be down for some sprints, not a 400.
Yep. You pull a hammy, though.
Oh, I stretch well. Very limber.
All right, Mike, I appreciate you having me on. Congrats on that awesome trip.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
All right, Mike. We'll talk to you later, bud.
More Sports Day after this.
Get the power you need for your farm equipment. The power of peace of mind that dependable Cenex lubricants deliver. With decades of proven off-road performance backed by the industry-leading Cenex Total Protection Plan warranty, Cenex heavy-duty diesel engine oils, hydraulic fluids, gear lubricants, and greases are formulated to provide superior protection for load-bearing equipment. The power you need to keep your business running like a well-oiled machine.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Great discussions here today on the program. Great listeners, too. Jim Mizunas. Malik Baugh, 5 carries for 6 yards against Manhattan.
Do we know, is that a full game?
I don't know.
I thought he was going to join the race.
McGuire, who's... 9 carries, 44 yards.
Ian McGuire's their backup. He actually scored a touchdown against Great Bend in their game.
Yeah, he had 9 carries, 44 yards. Malik Baugh, 5 carries, 6 yards. And Manhattan put up 59.
We saw Malik Baugh get dinged up a little bit in the Great Bend game and then maybe a little bit in this Manhattan game.
Okay. This media race that Mike Corson went to seems to be growing, although there seems to be a lot of trash talk being thrown out there, but no one wants to back it up, okay? So we have been able to talk with Lyles Lashley, obviously educating. He got word that there's some trash being talked. Let's see. And I said, Hesher says he's in because he can beat Lashley. Wagner also wants a piece of the action, Gary Wagner. I'm retired, but no way I would lose to any of you in any sport. That's Lyles Lashley.
Got a new track coming. Not 8 lanes.
So, I like to stir the thing, and I'm too old to run in this race. So retired kind of sounds like you're ducking them. And just one word, retired. No word from Derek Joyner yet. Hesher's in. Wag says he's in, but he wants to run the 40-yard dash. No, I said you're entered in the 400. So, all right, this has got legs, man. We'll make it. Chili
legs, but they're legs. Yeah.
Talk to you tomorrow on Sports.